Welcome back, Patriots, to the Ball Brad Show. It is Wednesday, April 24th, and Joe Biden. Good old Joey, the geriatric, the puppet, the guy that hits a golf ball backwards, falls up a flight of stairs so many times that he has to take the short stairs to get on Air Force One. Who would have thought there was a short staircase to get on Air Force One? His own staff is terrified that he's going to trip over a camera cable and break a hip and just kind of go down. Trips over a sandbag at a graduation ceremony and can't get himself back up, which makes sense why they're so terrified of this guy falling over on a camera cable in the Oval Office. Fights with his teleprompter every single day, and the teleprompter is undefeated. Joe Biden is breaking record after record. He's allowed more illegal aliens into the country than any sitting president in American history. Folks, this guy is the worst president in American history. Patriots, it's great to be back with you on this fine Wednesday morning. And well, as always, I'm perusing the web, kind of seeing, what do I want to talk about today? What do I want to rant and rave and complain about? Well, there's a video clip here of a ton of people just trying to get a glimpse of Donald Trump. Let's check it out. Look at that. All the people showing up for Mr. 45. Now, I bring awareness to this because, look, this is in New York City. Trump's just driving the streets to get to the courtroom. But Trump fills stadiums. I've said this time and time again. Y'all are aware of this. Trump fills stadiums, not only the stadium, but also the parking lot. Thousands of people can't get inside, so they're just outside partying it up as MAGA supporters, just want to make America great again. And then you got Joey here. Somehow Joey, you guys, got 81 million votes. Just somehow happened. So here's an event for Joe Biden, like 10 people standing outside waiting for him. This is in Tampa. Man, I hope they're able to get a seat. $81 million votes. Supposedly the most popular president in American history. Nobody shows up for this guy. And it was the same thing in 2020. The dude couldn't fill a bedroom. He can't fill an office space, a building, a stadium. He couldn't fill a parking lot. That one's in all literal sense. He couldn't fill a parking lot in 2020. Trump is filling stadiums. There's parades for Trump. There's massive caravans for Trump across the country. They're so congested on land for these parades that they're having to take to the seas. They have boats, parades of boats. How many of you have ever seen a parade for Joe Biden? I have yet to see it. And I live in California, one of the most Democrat-ran states in the union. Haven't seen it. I've never seen a boat parade for Joe Biden. I haven't seen an actual, caravan for Joe Biden. I haven't seen Joe Biden pack a stadium, let alone an event. Somehow he got 81 million votes. We all know what's going on. We all know what's happening. Well, I told you I'd keep you updated on what's going on with these protests because they are freaking wild. And so now, Columbia University is under fire here yet again after a memo went out late on Monday informing all students and staff that remote or hybrid learning would be the standard until the semester ends. You're paying $70,000, $100,000 to go to this school to now get your learning in remote or hybrid learning. The announcement came as anti-Israel and anti-Semitic protests have created an environment on Columbia's campus and other colleges such as Yale. We also saw NYU. We saw UC Berkeley. It's metastasizing everywhere, where Jewish students do not feel safe. Yeah, they're being threatened. They're being stabbed in the eyes, as we saw. Of course, they don't feel safe. People are calling for them to be killed after protesters chanted slogans calling for the genocide of Jews. They're saying the quiet part out loud. Okay, that's what they're doing. And the destruction of Israel. And one protester was seen holding a sign calling on a militant wing of the terrorist group Hamas to target fellow students who carried Israeli and American flags. So now they're calling on, these students are calling on terrorist groups to attack you if you're holding an American flag. It's insane. And we're allowing this to happen as if it's normal. You calling violence, that's normal. This is the progressive left, you guys. I wrote an entire book. Oh, you're damn right, I'm going to plug it again. I wrote an entire book on how the left is destroying America. You're seeing it in real time. These institutions, specifically our university systems, are just indoctrination camps. They're just brainwashing and basically just giant manufacturers of people that are pumping out and processing a bunch of libs, a bunch of woke snowflakes, these progressive lefties, and then they come out chanting slogans to kill all Jews. It's wild. And we're supposed to pretend like it's normal. But on Monday morning, as tensions had not cooled, the office of the provost put new guidance out there for the remainder of the term. Now we have the guidance right here. It's vital that teaching and learning continue during this time. We recognize conditions vary across our campuses and thus are issuing the following guidelines. Morningside main campus, all courses hybrid. Classroom technology permitting until the end of the school year. Oh, lovely. Arts/practice-based programs in person with generous accommodation supported by school deans and staff. Folks, there's professors that are Jewish that have been locked out of their university. They actually can't get on campus. They denied their ID cards. It's wild what is going on. I don't have any other way to explain it. Wild, insane, disgusting, evil. I mean, there's a lot of words we can use. If you want to add in one, throw it in the live chat or the comment section. Medical center and in-person operation as usual, but granting accommodations based on religious reasons. Oh, what would those religious reasons be? What are they? Oh, you don't want to specify. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Or approved disability accommodations. Quote, if the class does not permit adapting to remote offering format, we encourage faculty to provide other accommodations liberally to students who have requested support for virtual learning this week. Now, what are those students? Why would a student request virtual learning? Oh, maybe because people are calling for the genocide of their people. Maybe that. So critics slammed Columbia for moving to remote/learning, hybrid learning to be specific, saying that the school had chosen to cave to protesters rather than dealing with them. So imagine having to pay $70,000 a year for online classes because your school caved to these people. Here we go. Wow. Look at these heroes, you guys. Just saving lives, saving Palestinian lives. Unbelievable stuff. So let's get this straight. Jewish professor of Columbia is denied access. You heard me talk about this gentleman before. To campus so violent and vile Jew-hating anarchists are allowed to roam around spewing genocidal chants. I don't know when things went south so quickly. I don't know when somebody stepped on the butterfly, but boy, oh boy, are we ass backwards as a nation. If a parent has a child at Columbia, they should demand a refund and then sue for breach of contract. I 100% agree with this. So you have here, this is the professor right here that I was talking about, speaking about what is going on. So we'll get there for you, folks. Here we go.
My card. They are not letting me on campus.
Shame!
Shame!
Shame! Shame!
Shame! Shame! I have not just a civil right as a Jewish person to be on campus. I have a right as a professor employed by the university to be on campus. They deactivated my card. These are
hard to hear. He's saying he has a right to be on campus. You guys, he works there. It's not like he's a rando. It's not like he's a protester. The dude freaking works there. Remote learning because Columbia is refusing to keep their campus safe for people of all ethnicities and religions. Is this a breach of contract? Has anyone requested a refund? So, see an important message. We have this here. A degree from Columbia today is not worth more than a roll of toilet paper. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. If I was a Jewish firm, company, owner, ain't hiring anybody for Columbia for their foreseeing future. That is like a tarnish on a resume right now. I can't believe they're allowing this to happen. So now you got people that are survivors of Auschwitz, freaking the Holocaust, come out saying, what's going on? Like, how is this happening? Because we sit there and indoctrinate these people in the education system so that when they grow up, this is what the left produces. This is not conservatives. This is not Republicans. These are independents. These are progressive leftists. I really do believe this. Progressive left, these woke snowflakes, are the death of this country. Their ideology is what's crippling this nation. It is not conservative ideology. It's not Republican ideology. It's not independence ideology. Hell, it's not even half the Democrat Party's ideology. It's the progressive left, which is an outgrowth of the Democrat Party, that is destroying this country. And if we don't bring awareness to it, you're not going to have a country. And I mean that in all literal sense. You have Friedman here. When she was 6 years old, she walked out of Auschwitz. And after dedicating herself to teaching others about the horrors of the Holocaust, she issued a stark warning to those who seem unwilling to crack down on the anti-Semitism rearing its head on college campuses in the United States. Folks, there's like an insane statistic that like 40 to 60%, somewhere in that range, of Americans don't even know. I think it's like 18 to like 35-year-olds or something like that. Don't even know the Holocaust happened. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up. It's a real stat. It's a wild statistic, because we spend more time talking about how America's a racist country, how we're a bunch of colonizers, how we're part of the patriarchy, you know, all these negative things, rather than looking at what real evil looks like. I'm not saying slavery is not evil. It is. But when you spend all your time just ripping a new a-hole on America, you know, there's a lot of other evil that actually has taken place around the globe, like Mao killing millions of people. You got Hitler killing millions of people. Like, there's a lot of real evil out there that you can spend your time on so it doesn't replicate itself. But what are we seeing right now? Basically, replicating itself in terms of words. Insane. So you have this individual here, this survivor, saying where she predicted inevitable tragedy is something, or if something rather, was not done to stop the growing cancer of anti-Semitism. We're just allowing it to happen. Not saying we fought World War II because of the Jews. There's a timetable there, right? We kind of entered World War II. Japanese kind of pulled us in, and then you also have what took place with England and Russia. Well, I should say England, but the UK kind of pulling us in that direction as well. They needed our efforts, our support, so we kind of pulled in there, and then we really found out about the Jews later on and what actually took place. So it wasn't necessarily the Holocaust that pulled us into World War II. That was just something we kind of stumbled upon. But it's basically happening again. Responding to videos of protesters on Ivy League college campuses like Columbia and Yale telling Jewish students to go back to Poland and actively cheering on the brutal actions of Hamas terrorists. It's shocking. It is shocking. Can you believe we're at this state in a country where we saw not all that long ago, my grandfather was in World War II. Like, we're not talking about many generations, like what, 2 generations? And we're already back here again of people chanting and asking for the genocide of Jews. It is shocking. It is utterly shocking. You know, when I walked out of Auschwitz with my mother walking through these gates, and I thought I was 6.5, and I was a very adult 6.5, not like a child, you know? And I said, I will never have anybody call me a dirty Jew or anything else again. I am free now. Well, here we are back with a bunch of freaking insane woke libs taking over these college campuses, acting like idiots, and now we have this taking place. And they tell you their agenda right out loud. It's not like they're being quiet about it, right? When October 7th happened, they wouldn't condemn Hamas, right, and the atrocities that took place. And then some of them were like, well, yeah, I do, but they were occupiers, so they kind of deserved it, but I don't think what they did was right. Right? What I've learned of all this is, like, the Palestinians and people that are supportive of what the Palestinians are doing they walk a fine line, and it's really hard to gauge it. They walk this fine line of condemning what Hamas did, but also kind of supporting Hamas because they're claiming that Gaza and the Palestinians are occupied and taken over by the Israelis, which is a very weird concept because they haven't been occupied since 2005. So as a third party, like, no skin in the game, just a bird's eye view here, it's a really weird thing I've seen. I've watched a lot of hours and hours of tape of interviews of how these people talk about Hamas. It's a really weird thing. And I'm leaning more towards a lot of these Palestinians support Hamas. And that's kind of echoed from a poll that was done where I think it's like 70% of Palestinians support what took place on October 7th and Hamas. It's insane. It is wild. So I told you what was going on college campuses and that I'd keep you up to date. And I'll also keep you up to date on the homeless crisis. So this has evolved over time, as we said it would. I mean, it's basic economics. It's literally economics 101. You could read it even in Henry Hazlitt's book. So homeless has grown because the Democrats suck at running things. They suck at governing. You're seeing on a federal level, a state level, and a local level. And so what happens is when homeless kind of gets worse and pollutes the area, right? Because there's drug use, there's crime, right? There's smash and grabs, there's people being killed and murdered by homeless people and assaulted. Then what you have is a lot of crime kind of being taken place in that area as well. And you're trying to fund it, you're trying to fix it, you know, you throw billions, hundreds of billions of dollars at a problem. Well, what happens from that is these people, meaning businesses, aren't able to get customers into their store because there's somebody defecating and taking a hot shit right outside their doorstep. I personally don't want to go eat at a restaurant watching a guy masturbating as I'm trying to eat. I don't want to go to a restaurant knowing that some dude's taking a leak on the window that I'm sitting right next to, or defecating on the street right in front of me as I'm trying to eat chili. Not really into that. Now, some of you that are longtime listeners and viewers of the Bald Brad Show know that I did a live in San Diego, which is still up, by the way. I walk around for, what was the video, like 11-minute live, 12 minutes, and we counted, what, 25, 30 homeless people in the span of that amount of time. There was people pissing on the ground that we saw. I almost stepped in it. I almost stepped in human waste, and I started gagging. A homeless person came up to me asking for stuff. So all that's there. The air is disgusting. The quality of the air is rough. And so obviously this has ramifications. It has consequences, just like everything does. So what's happening here is, once the West Coast crown jewel, San Francisco's real estate market is crashing. Oh, who could have thought? Who would have thought that this happened? You're telling me people don't want to pay $5,000 for a one-bedroom apartment with a homeless guy crapping on their front porch? Really? Or the potential of being assaulted or having your wife get her ass kicked walking down San Francisco? Really? That didn't ever cross your mind, Democrats? You didn't think about that? You didn't think about what would be the consequences of you exacerbating the problem here? Oh, we got footage. Oh, wait, we got footage. And we got pictures. So San Francisco, once the crown jewel West Coast, and that's even debatable, is now teetering on the brink of collapse. God, where have we seen this in the United States before? Oh, there's Democrat-run cities that it happened with. Oh, that's right. And it seems like nobody's sounding the alarm. That's because Democrats vote in more stuff to allow this to happen. They haven't woken up, you guys. It's not bad enough yet. I know for all of us, it's insane. Trust me, I get it. All of us, we're looking at this going, how the hell do you keep voting for this? Just vote in a Republican. Shit, vote in an independent. Vote in somebody from the Green Party, some lunatic at least, that isn't a Democrat, to see if things would slightly change. So the city's housing market in particular has been hit hard over the past year, with prices plummeting and homeowners fleeing in droves. Where are they going? Hold on. There's not a Republican in sight in San Francisco. Why are they fleeing? You voted for it. I thought you liked this. What the hell? Where could you be fleeing to? Oh, where all of you live, in red states and red cities and counties. That's where you are. There was a clip I saw of somebody driving from Los Angeles County in the Orange County. So Los Angeles County's up here, Orange County south. They noticed a drastic difference. Now, Orange County is predominantly ran by what, you guys? Republicans. Yes, it's one of the most Republican areas in the entire union, the entire country. I live in Orange County. Represent. Los Angeles is a dumpster fire. Okay, you're seeing pictures of this right here. Now this is San Francisco, but it's not too far off. Orange County is ran by Republicans. Los Angeles County is ran by Democrats. Night and day. I'm not saying Orange County doesn't have its rough areas, but even the rough areas, quite honestly, are ran by Democrats. So you can have a county, a locality, a city in the area is ran by Democrats, even though it's blue. I bring this up because this is a point that Democrats love to use, going, well, it's red states that have the most crime. This was echoed by Whoopi Goldberg of The View. Well, Whoopi, and all you other libs and Democrats out there, it's the Democrat cities, the blue cities inside those red states that's causing the crime to go up. So that's what they do. So in the same way, you can have Orange County, but you can have a city inside that county that's ran by Democrats that looks like this. It's amazing. It's astonishing. So we got a bunch of stuff. I didn't read JP Morgan's, the CEO here says, in far worse shape, San Francisco is worse than New York City. That's saying something. I mean, New York City literally throws their trash on the street. You got people defecating, just shooting up in front of your kids, just lovely stuff. I think every city, like every country, should be thinking about what makes an attractive city. It's parks, it's art, but it's definitely safety, it's jobs and job creation. It's the ability to have affordable housing. Any city that doesn't do a good job will lose its population, and that's what's happening in San Francisco. San Francisco is falling on all fronts, and in turn, its housing market is quietly crashing because nobody wants to move in. Why would you want to pay $3.75 million in a place where you'll probably be assaulted? Okay, the air smells terribly. It smells like caca and pee-pee. You have homeless people all over the place. You have the possibility of your home being burglarized. Smash and grabs are taking place everywhere. You can't run down the street in leisure. Why? Because Democrats run cities, states, and countries into the ground. It's their ideology. It is their ideology. Tell me different. You notice that I'm very selective on what I choose to talk about? You know, like, I'm very selective is that this is a Democrat thing. Do you notice that? I'm not saying like Democrats caused homelessness. That's not what I'm saying. The places like San Francisco, Los Angeles, where I live, New York City, Chicago, predominantly big cities. Every big city, red or blue, has homeless. But it's odd how most of the homeless are in blue cities. Most of the crime happens where? In blue cities. It's weird how blue cities tend to have the highest tax rates, but the most problems, the worst roads. It's weird how everybody's fleeing blue cities right now. Why? Why are Democrats fleeing blue cities? I thought the guy you voted in has his shit together. I was told that he knows what he's doing. In the same way that these people say Joe Biden has his head on straight. He's sharp. Oh, he's a mentor to them. Yeah, we know. We were told by Jen Psaki. Or rather, not Jen Psaki. She's one knucklehead. The other knucklehead, Karine Jean-Pierre, was like, oh yeah, he's a mentor. He asks us tough questions. Yeah, he really pushes us. Really? The guy that can't even get up past 4 p.m.? Like, you gotta sit there and roll the guy out of bed and unhook his CPAP machine. I just, the gaslighting's insane. So here's more pictures, right? Here's more stuff. Some of it looks beautiful. Folks, this is the same area that they had to clean up, I believe, so that the president of China, Xi Jinping, could be flown in. That's how disgusting Democrat-ran cities are, where you have a communist country flying in and going, whoa, they're going to think this is bad. Let that one sink in. What's even more astonishing is that things are so bad in blue cities. It's so disgusting and just littered with homeless, drugs, feces, fecal matter, all that stuff. It smells terribly, right? Crime is through the roof. You have illegal immigrants coming to this country, being bused to Democrat-ran cities and asking to be returned to their home country, which they just fled from. And they're claiming that they were fleeing from a war-torn country, that there's famine and drought. They couldn't get water and food. They didn't know what to do. And they come here going, whoa, I want to go back to wherever I came from. So we have some prices here. And it says, consider the penthouse at a San Francisco Four Seasons residential. Initially listed in 2020 for $9.9 million. Now it's begging for $3.75 million, a jaw-dropping 62%. You could probably offer that place for free and people still wouldn't take it. A 5-bedroom sold $1.1 million earlier this month after selling less than a year prior for $1.6. So it's collapsing. 2-bedroom condo overlooking a ballpark that sold for $1.1 million recently sold for $1.08 million. So massive decline taking place. Who would have figured? But they can't wrap their heads around it, you guys. They can't figure out, well, why are people leaving? Why are they getting out of here? Gee, I don't know. Maybe because retail giants are also abandoning ship. You have entire freaking chains fleeing, leaving Democrat-ran areas. Starbucks, REI, Walgreens, Rite Aid, CVS, Macy's, Nordstrom. I mean, you name it. They're all fleeing. And I'm not kidding. These liberals, these Democrats, these woke lefties, all of them sit at the table. What's happening? How could this happen? Where's everybody going? Where they're going to Florida? Why? Republicans don't know what they're doing. Why could they be fleeing to Florida? Why? They sit around the table and they can't wrap their head around it. I know it sounds insane. What other reason would there be? You think they got their head on straight? They don't have their head on straight. So we had a clip here. We had a clip of Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson here goes to California. And if you weren't already aware, while he was in California, I think it was Oakland, he went to the In-N-Out that shut down in Oakland, and it shut down because of the crime. The dude got robbed while he was in Oakland, talking about the robbery, the theft, and the crime. It's like when Savannah Hernandez from Turning Point USA went into San Francisco, I think it was, for 48 hours. She hadn't been in San Francisco longer than 2 hours, and she already was filming human waste. People passed out with fentanyl. Like, you don't have to be in these places for days to see a homeless person. It's right when you step off the plane. So he's calling out here the fact that California spent $25 billion in taxpayer money to fix their homeless crisis. Now, a little wrong, because from my understanding, it wasn't they spent $24 billion, Benny. They lost $24 billion. They don't know where it went. Where did all that money go? Oh, great question. So he goes up. He's going to show you some footage here, and he's going to talk to homeless. Let's roll it.
Welcome to beautiful San Francisco inside the state of California. This state has spent $24 billion on solving homelessness. I mean, nobody quite knows where that money went. When you drive down the streets, as we have done, this is what we see outside of our car window. There are hundreds of thousands.
Look at the streets. Look at the curbs. Does any of that look clean to you? We're the highest tax state in the union, and this is what you get with your tax dollars.
Of homeless people that live in California alone. That accounts for over 30% of the homeless population of the entire United States of America. We actually went and talked to a few homeless people ourselves and asked, have you seen any of this scratch? California spent $24 billion on solving the homelessness crisis. Did that help you? You see any of that money?
Nope.
Yeah.
Should not lie. That's supposed to be intended for something else. They're f***ing it off, talking it, having a good time, and screwing things up for everybody else.
You gotta love our boy Benny. Does amazing work. Head over to Benny Johnson. He also has a YouTube channel. Has an awesome show, which I tend to watch on my free time. But speaking of people who don't have their head on straight, because prior I was talking about Democrats. Well, here's another Democrat right here, Mayorkas. Mayorkas unsure what executive actions could be taken on border crisis, even as Biden privately weighs options. He's pleading ignorance. This guy, look, there's only two routes. Either he's faking being an idiot or he really is an idiot, and it's hard to tell. So Department of Homeland Security, ran by a Democrat, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas questioned on Monday what possible executive actions could be taken on the southern border as President Joe Biden privately weighs options. We've covered it. The dude could shut down the border with a snap of his fingers. Like, it's one of the actual executive actions that he could take that is not an overreach of the executive branch. This is the dude that will take executive action on student loans when he doesn't have the authority. That's not my words. That's a Supreme Court ruling. So the Supreme Court says you can't use executive action to sit there and basically, evaporate people's student loans, basically forgive their student loan debt. And so he says, well, screw you guys. I'm going to do it anyways. They said, well, it's an overreach. You can't do it. So Mayorkas, I'm so bewildered by this administration, just how Democrats said this guy actually got voted in office. Mayorkas openly wondered during an interview with NBC News what possible executive actions the president could take on the immigration crisis at the border that hasn't already or wouldn't be legally challenged. Are you telling me that you're going to use executive action at the border to try to resolve it, which you can do, which is legally viable? Who is going to sit there and legally challenge you? It sure in hell ain't going to be conservative Republicans. Is what we've been asking for. Like, we've been asking for this for 3.5 years, going on 4. So who is it going to be? Probably Democrats. But remember, they're doing everything they possibly can to solve this thing. Interesting. Biden spent months weighing a host of options behind closed doors, including asylum reform. Why not take executive action right now? This comes from the guy that was interviewing him. Why not do more right now to address this? What executive action are you suggesting that we take that we haven't taken that would survive court scrutiny? Well, you could do remain in Mexico. That's one. Biden said during the April 9th Univision interview that he was examining whether he had the power to curb illegal immigration. This guy doesn't have a freaking clue. He don't know what the hell's going on. Joe Biden don't have his head on straight. He hasn't had his head on straight for quite some time. The president used executive authority during his first months of office to issue a flurry of policies reversing Trump-era border security measures. So it's funny how he can use executive action to make things worse, but he can't use executive action to just clean things up. Really weird. But he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't know, right? He's weighing all the options. He's been weighing options since day one, including deportation initiatives and the construction of the border wall. We're examining whether or not I have that power. You know what just floors me? The border wall. Remember when Trump was in office and Nancy Pelosi with her dentures and her fake ass smile because she had so much plastic surgery it looks like somebody sat there and blew an atomic bomb in her face and she's like stuck. Remember she was like, well, we don't have $3 billion to spend on a border wall. We don't have the money for that. She's like, yesterday they freaking signed $95 billion to go to everybody else, $10 billion to go to Iran that chants death to America and death to Israel. Isn't it just funny how we're always just getting BS straight to our face by these politicians? It drives me up a wall, man. It really does. Like, we're getting so shafted, probably more than ever, by our own politicians that we're voting for, and for some ungodly reason we continue to vote for them. There's no guarantee that I have that or power all by myself without legislation. Joe, you don't even know your president, okay? You don't even know who the hell your wife is. So I can't blame the guy for not knowing, well, what executive action can I take? What can I do? One action Biden considered taking in recent months would make it more difficult for incoming migrants to claim asylum at the southern border by raising the standard used to determine whether a migrant has a credible fear of being persecuted by their home country if they are deported. Well, why would you do that, Joe? Are you saying they're lying? I thought we're supposed to believe all people, believe all women, believe all immigrants. Huh, weird. You're telling me that people would lie to come into this country illegally. You're telling me that some of these people who are terrorists, we know this for a fact, would lie about what their intentions are and what the reasoning is for them coming to the country. You're telling me that they're really, Joe, you can't connect the dots here? Interesting. Really weird. Biden also considered granting permanent residency status to illegal immigrants who have been inside the country for more than 10 years, meaning asylum. Not asylum, wow. Amnesty, rather. He wants to give amnesty to anybody that's now been in the country. And by the way, it wasn't just in the country for more than 10 years. That's not what he added that in there, but he's also calling for amnesty for everybody that's come under his administration as well as any prior administration. That's amnesty for like 25 plus million people. That's more than half the population of our states, you guys. So there goes the Electoral College for Republicans forever. The Biden administration reportedly doesn't feel a need to take executive action soon because it's a situation to them. Don't you understand? That's just a situation. Yeah. No, it's just a challenge. Yeah, no, it's a challenge to take it seriously. They have it all figured out, you guys. They'll solve this bad boy. No. It was a challenge. They downgraded it to a situation. It's never been a crisis in their opinion. Have never explicitly come out and said through a PR announcement that it was a crisis. It's just a challenge. Yeah, no, they'll get it, you guys. Yeah, no, they'll get it by November. Yeah, no, they're gonna figure it out. Yeah. Folks, they haven't figured it out in 3.5 years. You think they're gonna figure it out now in the next 4 or 5 months? We all know the game plan. We all know that what they're doing here. We can all see through it. We can see through the BS. We can see through the lies. We can see through the manipulation. And it's always astonishing to me. This administration came in on day one, right? Removed all of Trump's policies, caused this problem here. And they go, we're going to be the most transparent administration that's ever existed, that ever was. And then they go on to sit there and gaslight us for 4 years. Well, it's not Joe Biden's fault. Gas prices are raised. Didn't the guy campaign on getting rid of fossil fuels? Like, wasn't that his whole agenda to get rid of gas and gasoline powered vehicles? Like, wasn't that his whole thing that he was explicitly saying? And then you're surprised the fact that oil companies don't want to increase drilling in the United States because, I don't know, you want to shut them down? It's a big investment to start drilling somewhere. Isn't it weird how they go, oh, well, the Putin price hike has caused gas prices to go up when he invaded Ukraine. Wasn't it already skyrocketing before the guy ever invaded on February 24th? Like, wasn't that already going through the roof? And by the way, we have the evidence to show you. The gaslighting is so insane from this administration. It really is head spinning. Inflation's Putin's fault, then it was Trump's fault, and then it was Xi Jinping's fault. And then they're going to sit there and gaslight you and say, well, inflation's down ever since the president came in office. Folks, inflation was at 1.4% when Joe came into office. It's at 3.4. It has not gone down. It hasn't. They could tell you that all they want till they're blue in the face. It has not gone down. It is still up. When it's down below 1.4, then you could say it's gone down, Joe. But until then, it's still up. Until then, we're all getting screwed. Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter who you are. Your name comes under the word American, which all of us are predominantly, other than our boy Shib and a few others from the UK. Bless you guys. Like, we're all getting shafted here. We're all getting screwed. And for some reason, Democrats love it. They just love getting reamed. They love those high taxes, which is always funny because as somebody that was a tax accountant previously, never had a Democrat in my life, my friends who are tax accountants, you could probably speak to a tax accountant. Just ask them, you ever had a Democrat come into your office and say, please make sure that I owe the most money I possibly can to the government. And you know what? Actually, make sure I owe even more than I thought I would. It's never happened. They always want a refund. They always want their money back. Why not just give it to them? You want higher taxes, just give them their money back. So there's a pretty classic mode of nothing is on fire right now. And an immigration policy advocate giving anonymity to discuss internal conversation about the administration's policy considerations. And this comes from Politico. It goes on and on. I just want to bring up the date that DHS Secretary Alan Marcus is an absolute idiot. And I know you know that. Oh, I know we're all in this together. That guy right there. The Bagnets, Brett, the Bagnets. This guy should have been impeached. I think he should be tried for treason. I really do believe, I'm not just throwing that out there. I really do believe this guy should be tried for treason, along with Joe Biden. Screw the impeachment at this point. Where we're at right now as a country, you are so unsafe, it is mind-blowing. It is head-spinning. I don't actually have words to quantify how unsafe you are, nor does the FBI director. Our intelligence community does not have words to describe how unsafe you are in this country. And you want to know the shitty thing? We're going to get screwed at the end of the day. As all Americans, we're going to get screwed, but especially as MAGA supporters, Republicans, conservatives, people that voted in Trump, say Trump wins, and there's a terrorist attack, who gets to blame? Who's going to get the blame? You know the media are going to blame Trump for everything, right? They already are. I mean, everything that Joe Biden's, it's astonishing. Donald Trump's not even in office, and he's getting blamed somehow for everything. Oh, COVID's Trump's fault. Rising gas prices are Trump's fault. You know, grocery prices going up are Trump's fault. They blame the border on Trump. Let that one sink in. And people sit there, and they just eat it up, you guys. Oh, there's people that just fully on believe it. Isn't that wild? That there's no, like, process in the brain of going, man, Trump campaigned on building a border wall and stopping illegal immigration. Like, that was his campaign. Still illegal immigration taking place, not as bad as what we're seeing under Joe. Joe gets in office day one, thing just freaking exponential function, goes through the roof. No sitting president has ever seen anything like it. Like, there's no like wherewithal in the mind. Like, there's no thinking going, maybe I am being bullshitted. Maybe I am being gaslit. Like, it just sounds off. You know what I mean? Like, there's a saying we use in auditing and just accounting in general. If it smells like shit, usually it is shit. Like, is there no bullshit meter with people anymore? That's like, yeah, no, I don't know, man. 9.2 million, huh? Terrorist, cartel, drug lords, sex trafficking, child trafficking. None of that, huh? None of that kind of seeps into your mind and questions maybe what the hell's going on. And again, like I said, I'm very strategic in what I pick here. Because one, immigration and the debt are my two biggest things that bug me. But also, again, Democrats caused it. Democrats caused it. The homeless crisis, Democrat problem, predominantly. High taxes, Democrat problem, predominantly. Immigration, Democrat problem, predominantly. Like, you notice, like, it's kind of a recurring theme here on the show, and I keep you up to date because it's crazy. It needs to be resolved. It needs to be fixed. A lot of it's Democrats doing, folks. A lot of it's Democrats doing. And nobody wants to wake up to it other than Republicans and conservatives. We're all sitting here going, what the fuck's going on? And Democrats are just, oh, this is fine. Everything's okay. No, everything's fine. Yeah, everything's so fine. I'm actually going to vote for Joe again. You saw the chant. Do I need to find? I'm finding it right now. Nope. You twisted my arm, folks. Y'all remember that chant? Do you remember that chant where the church people, Biden supporters, chant 4 more years? You guys remember that? Let me see if I can find it for you on real time right here, right as we're going through. Okay, they sit there and chant 4 more years when Joe Biden was at like some church. Damn right, I already got queued up. I'm that quick, folks. I am that quick. Here we go. The guy can't believe it. Look at his face. He's going, holy shit, these guys want 4 more years of this? Okay, there's 2 routes of looking at his face. Holy shit, they want 4 more years of me after the destruction I've caused? Or, where the hell am I? Who the hell are you people? And how did I get here? Somebody clean me up because doo-doo diaper. I try to wrap my head around it. I really do. I try to meditate on it. How the hell can anybody vote for this guy? And I'm telling you what, millions are going to show up for this guy. Well, folks, that is today's episode. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section. Please, it really does support the channel. If you can't give your hard-earned money, or if you want to, we got a membership over here. 99 cents a month. You can feed a patriot. You keep the lights on for me here. You allow the show to be ran. You're very, very generous patriots. We got a lot of members that would love for you to join our membership right here. Again, 99 cents a month. Look, you're seeing what the Democrats are doing with your money. You can give it to a good cause, even conservative thought, out there to new viewers. We are growing as a channel. We've hit 55,000, you guys. Jeez, it's so insane to me. It really is so insane. We're working hard here, folks. You guys join every live. You join every time we sit there and upload. You're working in here just as much as I am, folks. We're a community of patriots. We'd love for you to join us. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, what are you doing? You're joining us. You might as well come hang out with us. We would love to hang out with you in the live chat. And leave us, again, a comment down below. It does support the algorithm and sending our videos out there to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel. Folks, I'll see you next time here